Hey y'all, it's Bethany here. Welcome back to my channel, Bethany Brings Books. I am glad to be finally doing another video today. It's been a few weeks now. I feel like May has just been so busy. I don't know why, but it just feels like it's been busy. So anyway, I am here today and I'm sorry I've been sick, and so I sound congested and stuffed up, and I may be coughing and having to drink my water over there, but yeah, hear that. But anyway, so just try to overlook that. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. This video is going to be a book haul, and this video has been a while in the making. The last book haul I posted, I actually had all these books then, and I even mentioned it in the video, but I just have not had time to film it. I actually sat down one day and started filming and ran out of space. I had filmed another video and then was going to do this one, ran out of space, so I had to delete all that footage and I was like, okay, I'll just start fresh. So anyway, I've had these books I got them back, I would say probably maybe in March, I think. And most of these I think are from two different thrift stores. One of them was having a sale. If you buy 2 books you get 3 free, I think that's how it was, something like that. So it was a really good sale. So I got like a huge box of books for like $20 to $5 or something. It was really cheap. So I have 2 big bags of books. I think there may be 2 or 3 that I've already put on my shelf, and I'll try to put a picture of them up here. So I did have these divided out by category when I was doing the filming the last time. This time I'm just going to pull them out of the bag and show you what they are. I do not feel like dividing them into categories again, since I already had them organized. Hopefully it'll be kind of together, sort of, hopefully. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Alright, so first of all, we're going to start with some mysteries. These are, I'm guessing, more of a cozy mystery. This is called Secrets of the South, Sunset and Old Savannah by Mary Ellis. It's an older Bethany House book. I've never seen it before. Looks like it's from, oh wait, it's from 2017, so it's not that old. I think she writes a lot of Amish, but this is not Amish. So this one, it says, when socialite Evelyn Doyle hires investigative partners and best friends Michael Preston and Elizabeth Kirby to do some routine surveillance on her wayward husband, the detective duo find themselves embroiled in a mystery that leaves them in this beautiful historic city longer than they had expected. It's not set in the 1800s. I thought for a second it was set in the 1800s, but it's not. It's, I guess, modern day, it sounds like. But anyway, I thought that was interesting because it's set in Savannah, and Savannah is such a beautiful city, and I want to go back sometime. I went when I was younger, haven't been in a long time, but I would love to go back and do a thorough vacation there. Another Southern mystery series. This one is by Mindy Starnes Clark, Whispers of the Bayou. Again, another older Bethany House book. Is it Bethany House? It says Harvest House, so maybe it's not Bethany House. This one is from 2008. So anyway, this one says, swept away from Louisiana Bayou country as a child, Miranda Miller is a woman without a past. She has a husband and child of her own and a fulfilling job in a Manhattan museum. But she also has questions about the tragedy that cut her off from her family and caused her to be sent away, and about those first 5 years that were erased from her memory entirely. And then it sounds like she's summoned back to her grandparents' antebellum estate, and she begins learning truth about her childhood. That sounds intriguing. I'm always down for a good, mystery, especially cozy mystery. And also picked up these 3. I did not have these editions of the O'Malley series, The Rescuer, The Healer, and The Truth Seeker. Wanted to add them to my collection. And sticking with the suspense theme, we have a Catherine Palmer book. Catherine Palmer is a pretty popular author. When I was a teenager, I read a lot of her books, but I don't think I ever read this one. This one is called Thread of Deceit, a Haven novel. And it sounds like something was terribly wrong with the shy, scared little girl every day she came to Haven, Sam Hawk's inner city youth center, but the former Marine couldn't get Flora to open up, So he turned to newspaper reporter Anna Burns, hoping that her skill at asking nosy questions about him and his mission could be put to better use. Anyway, there's that one. And then I got a few different Gilbert Morris books. This one is one of his House of Winslow books. Which is a huge, like, 30-40 book series. I don't even know how many it is. It's a lot. And I have never read all of them. I've read quite a few when I was younger, but my goal is to eventually read it, and so I am trying to collect them. So I picked up that one. Then I also found another of his series, The Spirit of Appalachia. I never know how to say that. This was by Gilbert Morris and Aaron McCarver, Among the King's Soldiers, Book 3. This sounds like a book set in the Revolutionary time period. And then this series is another that I've been collecting by Gilbert Morris, The Wakefield Dynasty. This is book 7 in it. And I also just think the series is pretty. Like, I don't know, I just think the covers are pretty. Especially the side. I don't know why, but that one. And then I found this, Missing Isaac by Valerie Fraser Luesi. I don't know how you say that. Never heard of her. But it's published by Revell. It sounded interesting to me. It says, when Pete McLean loses his father in the summer of 1962, his friend Isaac is one of the few people he can lean on. Though their worlds are as different as black and white, friendship knows no color. So when Isaac suddenly goes missing, Pete is determined to find out what happened, no matter what it costs him. So this one's also set in the South in the 1960s. And then this one, Elizabeth Musser. I don't remember if I've ever read anything by Elizabeth Musser. I don't know if that's how you say her name, but this one is called Searching for Eternity, and it says, French-born Emile de Bonnery lands in the strange environment of 1960s Atlanta with decidedly mixed emotions. Some memories make Emile want to believe the best of his father, others cause him to fear the worst. Does his mother know more than she's willing to tell? So another Southern-based book. Apparently I was just in the mood for all the Southern set books. I think that's all the Christian fiction. If it's not, we'll get to it later. And now I think we're going towards classics. So I found this, Anthony Trollope's Barchester Towers. I was so excited to find that because I really want to read Trollope, and I find his books kind of hard to find. This is one of the older Penguin classics. I know this is a classic, but I know virtually nothing about it other than I feel like I heard somebody say they really struggled with it. So I don't even know if I don't know. It may be a struggle for me to even read it, but I picked it up because it was cheap, and it's another Penguin classic, William Thackeray's Vanity Fair. And then I found this edition of The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. Leroux, is that how you say his name? This is a Barnes & Noble classic. And I've actually never read, I read a kid's version. I've never read the original version. A few other things that I picked up. Again, a lot of these were like part of that buy 2 get 3 free sale. So a lot of these I just picked up because they were so cheap. Dover Thrift Editions, Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, Rudyard Kipling, The Man Who Would Be King, and Other Stories, Ralph Waldo Emerson, The Concord Hymn and Other Poems, Kate Chopin, is that how you say her name? Chopin, A Pair of Silk Stockings and Other Stories. I did not know that she wrote, known for her vivid portrayals of Creole life in Louisiana. I thought she was like French or something with her last name. And I also thought this was really fun. It's one of the kids' classics. I used to read these when I was young, but the Great Illustrated Classics, Christmas Bedtime Stories, which I think is just super cute. They're really cute to keep out at Christmas time. I think these may be more toward historical classics, nonfiction classics sort of thing, maybe. This one is A Voice from the South by Anna Julia Cooper. Cornerstone of Black feminist and political theory. This collection of essays focuses on racial progress and women's rights, A Voice from the South, written in 1892, is regarded as the first statement of black feminism. So I really don't know much about this. I just thought it looked interesting. Decided to pick that one up. Story of Blima. Is that what that is? B-L-I-M-A, I think. Blima? Blima, yeah. So this is about a Holocaust survivor. It says it's the story of a young Jewish woman going about her life in a city in Poland in 1941. It's told here by her daughter. The story of Amelia Earhart, lost star. Now, when I was young, I was absolutely fascinated by Amelia Earhart. I loved reading about unsolved mysteries. Some of the things that I read about all the time, I would check out books all the time about Amelia Earhart, the Titanic, Princess Diana, all these things just fascinated me. So I thought this looked interesting. It's like a scholastic book. And then these are more towards, I don't know what these would be considered. I guess like travel, historical fiction, nonfiction. This is by the Library of Congress, a book of first-hand accounts of life in America from 1600 to 1900. And it's called Witnessing America. And this is collected diaries, letters, memoirs, court records, articles. It's first-hand accounts of people who lived back then. So that I thought was very interesting. Yeah, it just has a lot of different chapters. It even has photos and illustrations and things in it. So I can't wait to read this. That just sounds really fascinating to me. I also found these little booklets, and they're kind of like almost like photo booklets. Like this one is Hammersmith Farm in Newport, a summer lighthouse. And it has just, it has a brochure. And it has like photos. I guess maybe this is where the Kennedys vacationed or something. But it has photos of it, which I found absolutely fascinating. This one is from the 60s, which is interesting, or from the 70s. I don't know. Anyway, I just love looking at old photos like that, and so I thought that this would be really interesting. They had a handful of those. They had this one, which is Newport Then and Now. And this is actually, I find this very interesting because I've been watching The Gilded Age, which is absolutely fascinating. It's by the same guy who did, what is it called? Downton Abbey. He did Downton Abbey. But he also did this new show, The Gilded Age, and there's like 2 seasons out so far. Absolutely gorgeous scenery and costumes, and it's just lavish. I will say, in the first season, there's 9 episodes, and there is one scene that I would definitely skip over. One scene that I would definitely skip over. I read reviews beforehand, and so I knew there was going to be one scene to skip over, and there is a scene on episode 4 that I would look it up. If you're going to watch the show, I would look it up. Otherwise, other than that scene, it's a very clean show. There's like a couple of other scenes that I skipped just because it had some stuff I didn't really like. There's maybe 3 other scenes. Nothing excessively bad. It was just some stuff I don't really care for. So I did like fast forward those. But overall, it's a very clean show. I don't know why they did that one scene. And it's like, it's got, that one scene has some nudity in it. And I don't know why. I'm like, why did you put that one scene in this whole first season? It was so unnecessary. And if you have like a Video Angel or something, then that would probably work. But anyway, like I said, you can just fast forward that part. But otherwise, it's a really good show. And anyway, it's just a fascinating look into like the late 1800s in New York, and like the Gilded Age and the high society, and how there was this clash between the old money in New York, like Mrs. Astor. You probably heard about Mrs. Astor, and the new money, like the Vanderbilts and those that worked for their money and didn't inherit it. There was this clash, and one of the families, you can tell, is based on the Vanderbilts, and it's just so fascinating. But anyway, there's some episodes where they go to Newport, and like they're showing their house there and stuff, and it's where they vacation. And anyway, now I see this, so I'm thinking this is going to be really interesting to look at, because I've been reading, like, I've been looking up stuff about that time period now and reading about the houses and stuff. It's just fascinating to me. So I think this is going to be really interesting to read. And one more, The Complete Picture Guide to Newport, Rhode Island. So this one as well. Just really cool. I think these are so cool. Oh, and this one, I love then and now books too. So where it shows like the older picture and then now. Apparently someone went to Newport and brought all these guidebooks back. This with Robert E. Lee by Helen Topping Miller. This book is, well, has an inscription in it, 1962. Looks interesting. This is the story of General Robert E. Lee's first Christmas after his surrender at Appomattox. Apparently it's just a fictional account. It says, Miss Miller writes, I have written a sympathetic story of what Christmas could have been like in Lee's house at Washington College on December 25th. I try to show the Lees as real people with no contradictions of dates or other facts. The characters of the Lee children were drawn from numerous books and letters about them, young Robert Jr. being a source of information, as were such writers as Harnett Kane and McKim. So I guess it's kind of a fictionalized account, but apparently this author did several of these other Christmas stories. Christmas at Mount Vernon, No Tears for Christmas, Her Christmas at her Hermitage, Christmas for Tad. So I guess she must have did other Christmas versions, other Christmas books, like fictional accounts of Christmas with real historical figures. All right, now let's go for bag number 2. So I'm gonna try to go a little quicker, but this is a kids fiction mystery of the Island Jewels. This is an Aladdin mystery. Cassie and Charles are after the jewels, but who's after them? That looks interesting. Found this edition of Alice in Wonderland. It's an Apple Classic. I don't know if I'll read. Eventually I need to read it, but Alice in Wonderland always creeped me out as a kid, the movie, because I was claustrophobic, and so watching it just made me feel even more claustrophobic. But yeah. This is Trapped in Hitler's Hell. A young Jewish girl discovers the Messiah's faithfulness in the midst of the Holocaust. So this is another, like a non-fiction historical. And this one, Blue Willow. This one I thought sounded interesting. It's like an older scholastic book, the paperback kind. It looks like maybe from the 50s. Yeah, 1958. No, third printing, 1960. So, has illustrations. How Janie longs for a real home, but the Larkins have to keep moving from place to place so that Janie's father can find work. Once Janie had a real home, doesn't she have her beloved Blue Willow plate to prove it? Mean Bounce Rayburn takes the plate because the Larkins have no rent money. That seems like the end of the world to Janie, yet it is the Blue Willow plate that brings unexpected happiness and a thrilling surprise. Another cozy mystery, Mail Order Murder, a Christmas mystery by Leslie Mayer. Don't have a clue what that's about other than the cover looks fun. On this definitely needs to be washed off. It's kind of yucky. But this is Donna Parker, A Spring to Remember. I feel like I heard somebody talk about these Donna Parker books a while back. I don't know. It's hardback and it's definitely like 1940s probably. I would guess it's probably 1940s. 50s at the latest. But it's just cute. I don't even know what this is about. I found another Happy Hollister's book, The Happy Hollisters and the Scarecrow Mysteries. This one, unfortunately, does not have the dust jacket, but it is another edition in that series, and I need to read them. I have not read them yet, but I love these old vintage illustrations. This one's from 1957. Found this pretty boxed edition of The Juniper Tree and Other Tales from Grimm. So those are just, I thought were pretty. Just a pretty edition. Just look pretty to me. They're hardback. They have the dust jackets. And then they have these pretty illustrations. That one's a little weird. It's interesting. I don't know what year they're from. They look like maybe the 60s. I found this, My America book, 5 Smooth Stones, Hope's Diary. A few more classics. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is a Bantam classic. I also found this edition of Frankenstein, and I'm kind of collecting these Walmart editions. They're probably from the 90s, I would say, and I started finding them and really almost didn't get them, but then I just kept finding them. I'm like, you know what? These are kind of quirky looking. The covers are typically kind of pulp fiction-ish looking, and they have this non-removable Walmart 2 for $1 thing, but they're still kind of interesting. No Fear Shakespeare, Macbeth. Now, I also found another copy of this a while back, so I will be unhauling this one, I would say. I think the other one's on my shelf already. And then I found Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe, a Norton Critical Edition. Almost finished, guys. Almost finished. This was a Puffin classic, Roger Lancelin Green, Tales of Ancient Egypt. And then I found this interesting edition of Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. It's a hardback, and it has the dust jacket. It says also published as Murder in the Calais Coach. I really want to read this one. And I found this, The Best American Mystery Stories, 2002. So apparently this is a series that they did every year. It says it showcases the country's finest short fiction and nonfiction. And for each volume, a series editor reads pieces from hundreds of periodicals and selects between 50 and 100 outstanding works. They pair them to the 20 or so very best pieces. So this one is crime short stories. I don't even know. I just know that this is a classic, I think. So this says Cervantes, and so it's a Harvard classic, very pretty. But yeah, looking in it, it says it is the first part of the delightful history of the most ingenious knight, Don Quixote of the Mancha, by Miguel de Cervantes, translated by Thomas Shelton. So I guess this is Don Quixote. I didn't know that. It says copyright 1937, 63rd printing 1970. Very pretty edition, actually. Well, that's interesting. Oh. So let me show y'all this coffee table book that I found. Spirit of the South, which I love. I love big giant picture books, especially older ones that have just some of the funnest photos. So I can't wait to sit down and just flip through this. It's got like different southern photos, I guess. Yeah, can't wait to sit down and look at that. And then I found The Untold Story of the New Testament Church, An Extraordinary Guide to Understanding the New Testament by Frank Viola. I do not know anything about this. It may not even be worth reading. Sometimes I'm like, if I don't really know the author, especially in religious nonfiction, I'm a little bit leery. I don't want to pick up something that has a totally crazy theological standpoint. So I have no idea if this will even be worth reading, but I picked it up for, cheap. Then I was so excited to find these. I found these She Reads Truth Bible studies, which I thought was so cool. This one is the Book of Amos. And y'all know I like the Daily Grace Company. I have a lot of theirs. I've never done the She Reads Truth one. I do think the Daily Grace Company is much prettier. As far as these are just kind of plain to me. But I am interested in seeing, like, with their content wise, what they have. This one is called A Living Hope, and none of these were used to my knowledge. I also found a Daily Grace Company one, Waiting for Hope, a study on the book of Malachi. I Will Give You Rest, an invitation to Sabbath. That's another She Reads Truth. Your People Forever, a Lenten study of 1st and 2nd Chronicles. And then Romans. So I was very excited to find those. Alright guys, I had to go grab a couple that I forgot. Forever Christmas by Tasha Tudor. This one I thought was just so pretty. This one is a celebration of a joyous holiday, and of one inspired artist, preparation for that day. The artist is Tasha Tudor. So this book, I guess, is about the Christmas season at her house. And it just looks so cozy. Like, so cozy. I have no idea who Tasha Tudor is. But this book looks super cozy, and I was like, I want to get this book. So another one that I can't wait to look over. And then I picked this one up. This is The Living Past of America by C. Vanderbilt Jr. So apparently this is by, I guess I'm just all into the Gilded Age stuff right now. Even though this isn't from the Gilded Age, but he is one of the Vanderbilts. But this is black and white, but I just thought it was interesting. It has New England, Middle Atlantic, North Central U.S. It just has all across the U.S. various historic sites. And I thought this would be absolutely fascinating to read about. Like, let's see. So this one has Hampton, Pierce Mill, the Joaquin Miller Cabin. This is places in Maryland. This one is places in West Virginia. This is Mississippi. So it just has different historical sites, and it tells you stuff about them. And of course, this is from the when is it? Let's see when it's from. 1966. So I thought it would be interesting to read about these places and then look them up and see if there's still places you can visit today. I thought that would be interesting. This says Mark Twain's study, an octagonal replica of his study. So this just looks fascinating to me. So I thought that was cool. Anyway, there you go, guys. Oh, also this bookmark fell out of one of the books. Linda, Pretty One. He will beautify the meek. So anyway, guys, there's my book haul, and I can finally put these books away. Get them put away. But anyway, guys, thank y'all for joining me. I'm glad that y'all watched. If y'all stayed this long, let me know which one of these books y'all think I should read first. Let me know what y'all thought was interesting, and I'm just glad to be back, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.